Bradley Beal is entering his 12th NBA season, but for the first time with a brand new team. He was selected for All-NBA back in 2021, but has fallen short the last two seasons and has seen his numbers decline. Beal is featured on the latest cover of Slam magazine. He spoke about wanting to get back to that elite level.
I would say biggest individual piece is getting back to being one of the best two-way players in the league. Showing that I can really compete at a high level and playing meaningful games, playing in the playoffs, winning in the playoffs, advancing past rounds. And granted, I want to get back to my all-star level of play. I really believe that that's who I am, all-NBA guy, all-star guy. I have a good group that can push me to be that every single day. I'm excited about that opportunity. I get to be around like-minded guys and guys who will push me to make sure that I'm the best version of myself every day.
So clearly Beal has high hopes for himself and the Suns this season. But Zach, what is your biggest question facing the Suns?
First, I love that Brad Beal said two-way player because he's got to tap into defense too if this team is going to get where it wants to go. And to me, that's the biggest question. People are going to focus too much on, well, there's only one ball. How are they going to share the offense between KD and Beal and Book? That'll be fine. Those guys are so talented. They can all shoot. They can all pass. They can all dribble. Offense is going to be fine. Defense and depth are going to define whether this team is good or great. And when I look at defense, to me, the most important thing the Suns have to do during the summer, before the season, and during the season is repair their relationship with Deandre Ayton. Because look, there's no trade right now for Deandre Ayton that brings the Suns back stuff that is going to boost their championship odds. He is their vehicle to being a good defensive team. He's their rim protector. He's their centerpiece on defense. That relationship frayed along the way all across the organization, and they need to fix it, and he needs to fix it because they need him all the way bought in, or they're going to struggle on defense.
Ayton has been a question for this team for a while. Perk, your take on what the biggest question mark is for the Suns this season?
To be honest, I don't have one. I feel like they checked all the boxes. I mean, Zach talked about what Bill and KD and D-Book go bring to the table for us being offensive threats. Like, we know that they could get buckets on any given night, but they're underrated playmakers, in my opinion. And the hiring of Frank Vogel was so huge because before that, we was wondering, well, were the Phoenix Suns going to trade Deandre Ayton? If so, where they was going to trade him to? And all of a sudden, Frank Vogel come in and say, I don't want to trade Deandre Ayton. I actually want him. And if you look at the history of Frank Vogel, he is a hell of a coach. And if you go back to his Pacer days when he had Paul George and Roy Hibbert and David West and George Hill and those guys rocking, the only thing that was standing in their way was LeBron, D-Wade, and Bosh. And so when I think about Vogel and what he did with the Lakers, getting those guys with all those different personalities in the bubble, from Braun, AD, Rondo, Dwight Howard, JaVale McGee, to buy in and to lock in defensively and bring a championship to LA, he's going to do wonders for this locker room. I had Frank Vogel as a coach when I first got into the league, and all the players love him. The way that he approaches the game, the hard work that he put in behind the scenes. I really don't have any questions about the Phoenix Suns. I think they're going to play beautiful basketball across the board.
And Frank Vogel, of course, knows how to deal with teams with big names and big expectations. Mm-hmm. And look, the Suns' current big three was built out through star players requesting trades. Kevin Durant obviously asked out of Brooklyn. Bradley Beal did the same in Washington.
These guys, since the prisoners are running the show and not the warden.
Wait.
They just decide,
what does that mean?
It just where a star player on the team is like, screw this city and all that support that they've given me, and I'm going south. I'm going to Florida, or I'm going to LA, or I'm going to Texas, or I'm going somewhere else. So, these decisions, and they're business decisions.
Right.
I understand.
Right.
Or whatever. But they have not helped the game. And they have not helped to keep the parity within the game. You build these super teams. Look at how many times Durant has hopped around. No, for real. OKC to Golden State to where do you go after that? Now he's in Phoenix.
So you don't respect that?
So Dr. J may have been straight out of a different era of the NBA, but seems to be strongly against the idea of stars teaming up and creating super teams. Perk, your stance on super teams today, and do you agree it's bad for the league?
Well, one, let me say this, and I love Dr. J and respect to all the greats and all the people that played and paved the way for the guys today and even guys like myself, but I swear, the old school guys, they be hating on this new generation and they can't even hide it. Because here's the thing, right? Sometimes you just have to grow with life. And at the end of the day, we could knock Kevin Durant, and I've had my comments about Kevin Durant when he joined the Warriors. But guess what? Every single time the Warriors were on television, we were tuning in to watch. I didn't think it hurted the game. I actually thought it helped the game. Viewership is up all across the board. People want to watch star players. And here's the thing again. If a team, if guys do go and form a super team, who are the teams that are going to knock them off? Because people want to see an underdog story. Like, for example, even with the Lakers, and I know it was young, they were old back in the day. Well, they were past their prime, should I say. When you had Kobe, you had Shaq, you had Karl Malone, you had Gary Payton, and then all of a sudden you see the Detroit Pistons, Chauncey Billups, Rip Hamilton, Rasheed Wallace, Ben Wallace, a serious underdog going there and beat the Los Angeles Lakers to win the championship. Everybody was loving that. But these old heads be hating. They can't even hide it.
Yeah. Very true. It's hard, though, when you see these contracts. Sometimes it's hard to hide it. That's all I'm going to say.
Hi, my name is Will Wise. I'm a player for sideline cancer, and currently I'm battling stage 4 medullary thyroid cancer. So I got sick in December. I fell ill. All my organs failed simultaneously. So my heart, my kidney, my liver, my lungs all failed simultaneously. And then when I got rushed to the hospital, they began testing and they found that I had a 8-centimeter tumor on my left adrenal gland, which caused all my organs to shut down simultaneously. So on average, humans have their adrenaline ranges from 0 to 1,000. When I got sick, my adrenaline level was 50,000. So it was 50 times the normal human. So I got sick, and then they did testing trying to figure out why I had that tumor, and then they actually found another tumor in my thyroid. My goal since my diagnosis is to help change the stigma associated with cancer. So most people hear the word cancer and think of it as a taboo word and an eerie and dreary stigma. And my goal, one of my main goals, other than bringing as much awareness to cancer and cancer research as I possibly can, is to help shift that stigma, because for me, it's not about fighting cancer or surviving cancer. It's more about living with cancer, because stage 4 people like me, there's no other real option. Relating to people who are currently on a journey like me, who's not going to let the word cancer or their situation define them. You should live how you want to live right now. That's what I'm doing. I'm just living how I want to live right now, because none of this is promised. I got a second chance, even a third chance to do this again, and that's what I'm trying to do.
Wishing Will the best in his fight against cancer, and even more reason to watch and support Sideline Cancer as they play next Saturday against the Herd That at 2 p.m. Eastern.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.